Hello everyone, hi, I'm Iran from Remax Thailand, and here with me, Ashley Montero, a hotel investment expert. Today we're going to talk about hotel trends, investment trends, what happened before COVID and after COVID. And I know that the hotel industry starts to recover. There is flights everywhere. People they are cooked back at home, too much time at home. They want to travel. How is the hotel industry is going up? What is the trends? And my first question for you today, how the COVID-19 actually affect the hotel market around the world?
Okay, so I think that as far as hotel markets around the world is concerned, there are bigger experts than me who can answer this question. What I would like to do, Iran, is tell you how did it affect Thailand and how the global trends have affected Thailand. So the first thing that happened is that hotels were forced to shut down during COVID. March 2020, and you had hotels around the world which basically may have been in business, may have not been in business, but in Thailand, our government shut us down. So from March 2020 to, let's say this year, 2022, we've seen that the lockdowns in other parts of the world also affected the Thailand business. But now that we are open again and all the disruptions have been removed, there are a few things that have come out of this. The first is that hotels have reopened, but not all the hotels have reopened. Yes.
Do you have any stats of saying how many hotels actually have been shut down and bankrupt or will never open?
Well, in Thailand, none of the hotels were forced to go bankrupt because the Thai government basically instructed the Bank of Thailand not to take interest or principal repayments right up until the end of 2022. As a result, all owners had to do was really furlough their staff and get on with the job of preserving the assets. There was even an asset warehousing scheme where a few owners were allowed to keep their assets with the warehouse, so to speak, at a rate of 1% per year, which they didn't have to pay now, but they could pay later. Having said that, because these hotels were shut down and staff furloughed, now that they have reopened, the biggest problem facing these hotels is actually staff. The staff who were furloughed have gone back to do other jobs. They may have gone back to the provinces, and now that the hotels are ready to receive guests, essentially the staff are not ready to come back because when they
found different jobs.
They found different jobs which perhaps paid better, which did not suck up so much of their time, and essentially which did not they were not so stressful. So essentially now the biggest challenge facing hotels is that even though they may have the demand from the market of people coming back on those flights that you mentioned, there are not enough staff, Iran, to actually work the hotels. So I would say that's the number one problem facing the industry. Number two is essentially you've had supply chain disruptions with the situation in China. A lot of the guest supplies that hotels need are not coming through, and so essential things like shampoo.
It doesn't manufacture here in Thailand. They bring it from overseas.
Yes, it comes from overseas, and essentially China is now open, now shut, sometimes open, sometimes shut. Right? So as long as this situation continues, you're going to have supply chain disruptions. The third issue is global inflation, which I think is a problem all over the world. But the good part about hotels is that you can adjust your average daily rate to reflect this global inflation. But that also brings another issue, which is that guest expectations are higher. If you charge a client, you pay more, so you want a better standard of service. But at the moment, because your staff are new and still need training, they may not justify the higher price tag being charged by hotels.
And what can you tell me about hotel rates compared to pre-COVID to post-COVID? Are the hotel rates per night are stay the same? Were there increase? Maybe based on destination?
Hotel rates have gone up across the board, across Asia Pacific and across the world. Hotel rates have gone up. So they are reflecting the higher inflation.
Yeah.
They're reflecting the fact that hotel managements are looking for higher revenue per available room.
Yeah.
Occupancies have come down and therefore ADRs have gone up. I think that this is part of what I referred to earlier, where guest expectations are higher because they expect to have a better service.
Do you know at the moment in Thailand which destination is the most popular, or will it be any different trends in Thailand destination in terms of hospitality? It used to be Phuket, Bangkok. Will it still stay the same?
I think if you look at globally, what happened during COVID is that hotels that were dependent on a leisure market were more in demand.
Yeah.
We are now, during 2022, we are witnessing business travel coming back with more flights.
Yeah.
We are also witnessing events which are coming back. So I think that probably the number one city in Thailand would be Bangkok, and it has benefited. It has benefited from the resurgence of travel. Thailand this year should do about 10 million tourists as per the estimates of the Tourism Authority of Thailand. And a lot of this is into events that were planned during COVID, before COVID.
Yeah.
And
postponed, and
now they need to do these events because they had already paid deposits to the hotels, right? And that money is gone unless you use it. So it represents that. It also represents revenge tourism, which is why the demand is so good at hotels across the world. People want to travel, but this kind of travel will probably end around the middle of next year as a global trend.
From a survey that I read just recently, I saw that Bangkok is ranked 6th among all 50 top cities around the world from expats that looking to live in this city in terms of climate, environment, cost effective. And it's not surprised because Bangkok was always in the top 10 for so many years, even pre-COVID. So these trends will maintain themselves for the next few years?
I believe that Bangkok as a city is really, really improving as compared to what it used to be. And this has been recognized not just by the survey that you refer to, but by the actual number of foreigners who are coming to live in Thailand. I think that this is here to stay. A lot of foreigners are realizing that Bangkok is a wonderful place to do business from. The Thai government has recognized this with a visa where they allow foreigners to live in Thailand working as global citizens.
They call it a working visa, yes.
That's right, that's right.
Well, do you think that the government investing in infrastructures in Bangkok, which you see here, so many new train station, underground station, will it help to grow the hospitality business?
For sure. The government's focus on infrastructure, not just in Bangkok, but in connecting Bangkok with Pattaya, with Phuket, with Isan, and with Chiang Mai.
They're planning to make a high-speed train to Wahin.
Yes, there is a high-speed train also coming from Bangkok airport to Pattaya airport. It's called Uttapao, and that is going to be connected with Don Muang.
That will ease the travelers to go from place to another.
That's right. So by 2026, you're going to have a world-class infrastructure, which is for sure going to increase the number of tourists.
I believe that all of this will help the economy grow up, and more and more hotels and travelers will come to Thailand. It's soon to get to the glory days when Thailand have 30 million visitors a year. And do you think that the hospitality industry is ready for that?
Well, the
30 million people, we've been there. It will come out. I'm an honest, true believer that Thailand can get those numbers back again. In my perspective, Thailand is one of the best worldwide destinations for travelers. Everywhere in the world, in some point having their to-do list, get into Thailand and see the beautiful place. Do you think that the hotel industry is ready for that?
I think that the hotel industry in Thailand is already equipped to handle these kind of numbers. Also, the logistics is already in place with the airports and the road infrastructure, now soon to come the high-speed train infrastructure. Yep. So all that is in place. I think the question that a lot of people in the tourism industry are asking is, do we really want to go from 30 to 50 million?
Oh, yeah.
Because, there again, you will have an infrastructure gap. Thailand has always sold itself as a budget, super cheap, volume destination. Beautiful. And COVID has perhaps made the Thai stakeholders pause and ask themselves, do we want just volume, or do we want to have quality tourism where the spend per tourist is higher? And I think that everyone wants higher spends. The question is how to get those higher spends without dumping the volume. COVID has helped them to dump the volume. So in a way, it's like a kind of reset.
Yeah.
From here on, I think that things may go back to the way they are. That is the danger.
Yeah.
Right? But really beyond 40 million tourists, Thailand is going to have to rebuild and perhaps augment its infrastructure. And hotels, to answer your question specifically, will need to be built again. There'll be a new wave of building to cater to those kind of numbers.
I'm sure it will. And it's good. The hotels need to rebuild for once in a while. I want to ask you another trends related to global warming. So I know that in Europe and in US, they looking in global warming very seriously, and some hotels are preparing themselves or adjusting themselves to less consume energy. How does this trend or global trend is working? How this is going to affect Thailand or the real estate hotel sale business in Thailand with that aspect of global warming?
I think, Iran, what you need to understand is that these two things, global warming and helping to reduce the world's carbon emissions, go hand in hand with higher asset value prices, lower energy costs, and also it's going to impact how investors look at buying assets in the future.
So you're telling me that hotel investors will consider which hotel they are buying depends on their hotel level of energy?
Absolutely, and not just hotel investors, but even hotel management companies. So for example, international hotel management company who has committed to, most of them have committed to a 25% reduction of carbon absolutely over the next couple of years. They will also think twice before accepting to manage an asset that is not friendly in terms of the way it was built.
Well, you're asking me that, is it relevant to only new hotels that have been built? Or is it possible for, maybe old hotels that are subject to renovation or they're going to rebuild? Is it possible to change old hotels to be more energy efficient?
Absolutely. In fact, when investors think in terms of buying a brownfield venture, there is capex that's going to go towards renovation. So you may want to replace all the light bulbs with LED light bulbs.
Okay.
Electricity, utility costs represent about 8% of your top line revenue. If you can reduce that 8% to say 6% or 4%,
you're saving a lot of money.
You're saving a lot of money.
And saving
and you're being
carbon.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for a higher asset price should you choose to sell in the future. Similarly, if you just look at how much water is being consumed, in the old days you used to have bathtubs. Why do you need to have so much water to take a bath?
Yeah.
Remove the bathtubs and put in shower stalls.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're renovating, the idea is not to buy new bathtubs, but to put in a shower stall. And
Wow.
you reduce your water consumption, and water is one of the precious resources that
We need
we need.
to keep.
Absolutely.
Do you see any other trends in hotels or converting spaces to hotels? I know that during the pandemic, people look at hotel hospitality and that industry. How those industries affecting each other?
Okay, I'll answer that question in two parts.
Yeah.
Okay, the first is I see hotelization
Yeah.
going into commercial spaces.
Oh.
Yes. So you take an office block, pre-COVID, people did not care about their work environment. Well, they did care, but employers were not prepared to listen to them.
Yes.
Right?
People work from home.
They worked from home. It's when they came back to work, employers looked at how can we make these spaces more friendly towards the employee friendly. How do we make them feel more comfortable so that we can
that's
get
why you
a
see a
higher
lot
productivity?
of office spaces look like hotels. Like it's more welcoming.
Yes.
Their employees even.
Absolutely, because if you have a happy employee, you're going to get higher productivity.
Yeah.
So I see the way commercial buildings are moving, they are definitely going to get more value from hotelizing their spaces. But the second part of your question is, can you convert these commercial spaces into hotels?
Okay.
Yes, you can. And the answer is that if you're going to do that, there is a lot of factors that you need to consider, including whether the commercial building can fit into the categories that the government requires for a hotel license.
Okay. So I saw some project here in Bangkok, here and there, that they took some commercial building, a white elephant in the city, and it was designated initially to a commercial space, and now it's become hotel.
Yes.
So this trend will stay?
I think that this trend is always there to stay. If there is a project which you can rent out as a hotel, hotels will give you some of the highest cap rates in the cities.
I see.
Yes.
Well, in terms of thinking as investors, what type of hotels now interest most investors? Among investors, what type of hotels they will look to buy?
If I look at what has happened in Thailand in say 2021, there were about 23 transactions with 3,000 rooms, and the sweet spot was between 500 and 600 million baht.
Okay, that much.
Yes. So I think that essentially this is the kind of transactions going forward that would be of interest to hotel investors. Usually they look for the number of rooms to be over 100, because below 100 it's not really going to work out on the costs.
Okay.
So once you have over 100 rooms, it makes sense to buy the hotel, and then of course there is the price per room that the investor is prepared to pay. I think that Thailand has a lot of potential to do hotel deals and get a larger share than the Asia Pacific region, simply because of the fact that it is perhaps the number one tourist destination in the whole of Asia Pacific. Number two, the prices of assets here are very reasonable when compared to destinations like say Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan.
I'm sure.
Yes, there was a time when these destinations were being chased, but I think that it is now time for Thailand's destinations to be chased by investors.
Well, in you look at from your experience, do investors looking for properties, hotels in Thailand, in what are the trends? Are Bangkok, Phuket, does it go alongside with the tourism trends, or maybe Phuket is already saturated with hotels?
I think to answer that question, let's look at what's happened at the global level.
Yeah.
In 2021, the trend was towards buying leisure hotels. So destinations like the Maldives, Miami did a lot of transactions.
Okay.
When I come to 2022, if you look at the latest survey that was done in America in the month of August, the number of the trend has moved towards buying hotels in cities.
Okay.
So London has done a lot of transactions. Tokyo has done a lot of transactions. Berlin has done a lot of transactions.
Oh.
Yes. So now, if I extrapolate that to the Thai context, I think that Bangkok will do a lot of transactions. In the last, if I look at 2021, it was Koh Samui which did the maximum amount of transactions. It was about 44% of the Thailand total.
Wow.
Followed by Bangkok, which was about 25% of the country's total. Followed by, it was Phuket. Yes, which was about 13% of the country's transactions. So I think that now you may see Bangkok inching upwards while Koh Samui will come down.
They did their time
and
with
I
the
think that Phuket will remain probably where it is. The dark horse would probably be Pattaya.
Okay.
Pattaya is poised to do a lot more hotel transactions. Yes.
Okay, what we see here in Remax to see the interest in the marketplace in terms of residential, but maybe affect also the commercial. There is a lot of interest in Samui. There is a lot of interest in Bangkok. But I do believe that, Bangkok will be dominant and Samui will follow with this after. Phuket, I think that the glory time pre-COVID was Phuket, but I think there is a lot of shining destination here in Thailand that will shine these coming years. That from the residential part that I can give you. As a conclusion, what do you recommend hotel investors to look into? Is it the price? Is it the numbers of room? Is it the destination? Looking for a new hotels that is just built, or maybe try to find a distressed property. What will be your recommendation to hotel investors?
Well, I think that hotel investors would decide what kind of project they go for based on what they want to achieve. So if they want to take a greenfield project and build from scratch, it might be nice to look at Bangkok because this is where you can get a lot of value. If you want to do a brownfield project where you take an existing hotel and refurbish it and put capex into it and make it into something that it wasn't earlier, enhancing the value tremendously. I think that one could look at Pattaya. You could look at Phuket as well.
Okay.
This is what I would say is where the value is.
Okay. If I'm an investor with 300 million baht, where you recommend me to invest? Bangkok, Samui, Phuket, Pattaya?
I think Pattaya is where I would recommend you to invest, simply because 300 million baht is not enough money to actually get into a destination like Phuket or Bangkok. Pattaya is, on the other hand, one of the most popular tourist destinations in the whole of Thailand. There have not been international chains which have gone into Pattaya until now, but now you can see that all the international chains are making a beeline for Pattaya, which is a trend of the things to come. So yes, I would put my money on Pattaya.
So what I get from you is that it really depends how much money I have and what kind of type of property I'm looking to invest. As I understand from you, it's also related to my knowledge and in hotels. If I'm a hotel investor, it's really probably what I get from you will be different if I'm willing to take a big chain with me to manage the hotel, or maybe it will be my own baby to buy the hotels and try to manage by myself.
Exactly.
And I should not expect the same results, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Ashley, I learned a lot from you, and every time we meet, we keep on learning, and it's good.
Thank you.
You have a lot of information about hotels, and I want to sit down with you again to ask you some more questions about specific investment or maybe specific destination, because I do believe that our audience and hotel investors would like to know more specific on each destination or what to do with their money and how to get the maximum value with their investment. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much to see us, and we'll meet you again.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. If you like this video, please join us and stay subscribed to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you get all the latest videos from us.